no, and welcome back to Matchday Live, and it's me, Dan, back again. And today, tonight I should say, Manchester United have to face Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park, and I believe it's an 8 o'clock kickoff tonight, as there's a couple midweek games. There's 4 last night, I do believe, and then there's quite a few tonight. So yeah, Man United have to face Man United have to face Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. The team I've gone for, well, yeah, Sanchez, Lukaku, Pogba as the number 10, Fred, Pereira, McTominay, and pretty much the same back 5 as against Liverpool. So let's get into it. Let's play the match, and yeah, where to start? So we drew 0-0 with Liverpool, which was a godsend in the end, because well, what happened? Pretty much nothing much happened, to be honest. You know, Liverpool didn't really test De Gea. We had a goal ruled offside. Well, it was an own goal, but it was still a goal, you know, ruled offside. We had quite a lot of things. So let's talk about the first couple minutes. Liverpool looked really bright. You know, they looked really up for the game. We gave away an indirect free kick in the penalty area in the first minute. That's kind of set the mood. And then the first... let's just say we went down like flies. We had a load of injuries, and yeah. So obviously going into the game, we found out Matic wasn't available. So that was like, oh my god, what the hell? Oh yes, look at that, Pogba with a great finish. Yeah, we found out that Matic wasn't available for the game, so McTominay came in. We played with pretty much the same team against Chelsea. You know, Mata, Herrera, Rashford, Lukaku, and well, Luke Shaw and Chris Smalling, and Scott McTominay in midfield, and obviously Ashley Young. But yeah, it was a bit of a weird one. The first injury was, I believe it was Rashford. Rashford got hit on the ankle from Henderson, and pretty much like his knee, like He was injured, Rashford. But the first injury came from Herrera, who went down with a hamstring. And then, yeah, so then he had to come off. So Pereira came on for Herrera. And then literally, what 2 or 3 minutes later, Juan Mata was holding his hip, I believe. And he had to come off. So then he came on for a not 100% Jesse Lingard, which I thought... what's his name, will bring on like Sanchez or someone, but in the end he brought on what's his name? He brought on Lingard, who wasn't 100% fit, and like the first big chance came to Lingard as well. Lingard got put through from Lukaku, and all he had to do is pretty much... I thought he would have took it first time, but he tried to take it around the goalkeeper, but the goalkeeper got it. Oh, for God's sake, I love doing that, don't I? Here we go. Oh, great save there. Yeah, we went... yeah, so he tried to go around the goalkeeper, and yeah. After that, he kind of injured himself. So, yeah, Jesse Lingard then had to come off. So, this is all happening when, you know, we had... Pretty much Pereira came on, Lingard came on for Mata, and then Lingard had to come off, and then Sanchez had to come on, and we was pretty much all over the place first half. And then thank God we got into half time at 0-0, because we were all over the place. So I was like, you know, just get into half time, and just try and, you know, maybe get a nick a goal right at the end. And we did almost do that with Chris Smalling, who headed it across, and I think it was Matip who put it into his own net, but it was offside. It was from a Luke Shaw free kick, I do believe, but yeah, that was offside anyway. So yeah, Lingard had to come off and Sanchez came on, so we had to play with pretty much 10.5 men, like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said. We had to play with 10.5 men because Rashford was injured pretty much all game, and he battled through. Thank God he did, because with 10 men, even with 10 men, we were struggling. But then again, like I said, Liverpool didn't really show up, to be honest. You know, Salah had to be taken off because he was just getting bossed bossed about by Luke Shaw, who got man of the match for that game. And yeah, that was pretty much it, really, for the game. Obviously, we came away with a few injuries, adding to our injuries list. We're going to have like 10 so we've got like 10 players out. So I believe the list is, I think it's Matic, Martial, Lingard, Mata, Herrera, and obviously we got like Valencia and Darmian and Rojo are still injured. But yeah, it's just like, oh my god, it was just like one of them things. It's just, even in the first half, Firmino had to come off injured as well. It's just like, what the hell's happening? It's just one of them like weird situations where like both teams had to. Oh, there we go, Fred with a goal. It's just, yeah, it's just a weird game. Yeah, so it did finish 0-0. We did have a late chance with Chris Smalling again. Lukaku crossed in the ball and Chris Smalling was still up from the corner, and all he had to do was stick his foot out, to be honest. But you know, he's not a striker, so he didn't really know if the ball was coming to him or not. But yeah, that was unlucky. So we finished game 0-0, and we go into this game against Crystal Palace, who Crystal Palace beat Leicester at the weekend 4-1, so they're in good spirits. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a weird team as well. Apparently Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to play kids, but I reckon it will be this team that I've got here. I reckon it will be the same back four unless Delo plays, and then I reckon Pereira and McTominay will come in, and I expect Pogba to play, and I expect Fred to play, but I've got a funny feeling he might bring in like Angel Gomez or James Garner. It's three players have been like playing with the first team, and that's James Garner, Tahith Chong, and who else was it? And yeah, Angel Gomez. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see them like come on at some point. It would be nice to see, you know, the youngsters start, because, you know, to add a bit of pace to that team, that would be good. And we've nicked a goal right at the end of the 45th minute. It would be nice to see maybe like Chong play with like Rashford and Lukaku. Rashford is 50-50 apparently to start this game. So apparently Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said yesterday it's a, you know, he could start, but he doesn't want to do a Jesse Lingard and, you know, force him into the game. So I don't think he might be on the bench, but I don't think he'll play anything in that game. And we're just going to be without experience. But you know, we've got McTominay. I thought McTominay played really well in Matic's position against Liverpool, and it was just like, you know, he played the ball all right. You know, he done his job, and if he can do his job against Crystal Palace, you know, it's going to be a good game for us, I reckon. So yeah, but I reckon Sanchez and Lukaku will start up front. I know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't trust Sanchez, but I reckon he's just got to play him. I know he's like been really poor recently, but you know, it's one of them games where he can get into the game, and I just hope that he does. And you know, him and Lukaku need a game, you know, where they both, you know, connect and all that. So I reckon it will be them two up front, you know, play the diamond with Pogba. I probably will be Pogba behind them, and then obviously, oh look at that, probably Pereira and Fred and McTominay in the midfield. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays Delo as well for Ashley Young. I thought Ashley Young, he wasn't the best of right backs against Liverpool, but obviously, you know, a midweek game, I reckon he will play Delo as right back, and obviously Luke Shaw had a good game against Liverpool, so I wouldn't be surprised if he continues, as well as Chris Smalling and Lindelof. I thought that, you know, the last two games they've got 2 clean sheets, and I believe David De Gea got his 100th clean sheet against Liverpool in the Premier League, so that was good. But yeah, if we can get a clean sheet against Crystal Palace, I know quite a few of the pundits have gone for Crystal Palace just because of the injury situation. But I reckon United could nick a victory against Crystal Palace. They are, you know, a bit of a bogey side at the moment. Obviously, last season we I do believe we came back and won 3-2 because Matic scored that volley from in the 90th minute or something. It was really a proper well-good volley as well. But yeah, but like I said, Crystal Palace are, you know, on a bit of a winning streak at the moment. You know, they've won. I think they've won their last 2 games, and you know they played pretty well against Leicester. I know Leicester have been poor lately, but you know they played really well against them, so they're going to be dangerous against us. But I reckon, you know, we've got the players to beat them, but it's just, you know, will they show up? Like I'm saying, like I reckon Pogba will show up. You know, but will Lukaku and Sanchez show up? You know, last good game Sanchez had was probably the Arsenal game in the FA Cup. So if he can do, you know, if he can put a performance like that, that wouldn't be too bad, and then just get the victory and then go on to the weekend against Southampton. Yeah, but this weekend we do have Southampton as well at Old Trafford, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Martial back for that game. I was surprised that he would be back for this game, but apparently he's not. So I was like, oh, great. Yeah, so apparently Lingard, the injuries could be like a couple of weeks, like Lingard and Matic and all that. So, you know, we're definitely going to be without Matic. It shows I think it showed in that Sunday game where how big Matic is to this first team. I know he was pretty poor with Mourinho, but since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been in, you know, he's been all right. You know, and it kind of like glues the team together. I know, you know. I know I'm not like a proper, you know, I wouldn't say I'm like, I'm not, I don't know, what am I trying to say, I don't know. I wouldn't say like I'm a good with like stats and all that, but you know, it did show in that Liverpool game where he was, you know, it was a big miss for us. So if we can get him back as soon as possible in that midfield, that would be great. And then obviously just have the youngsters in front of him with Fred and Pereira and Pogba. I reckon, you know, Fred and Pereira, you know, they played the first 2 games against Brighton and Leicester, you know, the first 2 games of the season. And they got found out that game. But, you know, Fred, he needs to play because, you know, he didn't play against Liverpool. He was on the bench. I would have thought he would have come on, but obviously he didn't. Yet again, but I don't know why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't play him. You know, he is a good player. I think he is a good player. He just needs a good run of games, and will he get that? I'm not too sure, but you know, it will be. I reckon he will play tonight. So yeah. So score prediction. Oh, I don't know. I reckon Crystal Palace will score. But I think, you know, United will just be up for this game. After the Liverpool game, you want to get back on victory terms. So I wouldn't be surprised if we win this game. I reckon it will be a tough game for us, but I reckon United will win. It probably will be something like 2-1. I think, you know, I reckon Pogba might come in and score a penalty or something, but I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna go for 2-1 Man United for my prediction. Can we get a goal in the 90th minute? Yes, we can. And I think, is that Lindelof? Yeah, there we go. Oh, we're winning 5-0. I didn't realise we were winning 5-0. Yeah, so yeah, I don't think it will be 5-0 at Crystal Palace. I reckon it'll be 2-1 or something like that for my score prediction. So anyway, guys, I'm actually going to end it here for today. Yeah, the next episode will be out on Friday, so we look forward to that, the Southampton game. So yeah, look forward to that. So I'm actually going to end it here, so please like, comment and subscribe, and don't forget to leave your score prediction below, because right, I'm going. Bye. I know, guys, thank you for watching my video. Hit me up on Twitch and Twitter, and don't forget to watch the playlist down below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.